what's going on all my freaks and geeks out there? We are the Square Round Table. I want to first and foremost thank everybody for tuning in last week on our radio station Power 214 and on YouTube. We appreciate all the love, y'all. Like, it's been a wonderful ride. Thank you for being with us. And yeah, guys, just keep it trucking with us. And I am your host, Chad Singleton. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
D.
I am Josh Singleton.
I'm Marcus, Marky Mark.
All right.
Dikembe. Oh,
all right.
My bad.
yeah. Like, all right.
I just added a side to the table.
All right, that's everybody in his podcast. All four of us. Dikembe, you know.
No,
Yeah, you think you're not welcome.
No, you're definitely welcome, bro. It's all good, bro. But yes, everybody, we have a special guest with us today, Mr. Dikembe Douglas. This man is a rapper, an artist, and all around just a great person. He's a great friend to everybody here at the round table. And yeah, dude, thanks for being with us today, man. You doing all right?
Definitely. I'm good. I'm chilling.
Awesome. Well, today we're going to be talking about something that everybody loves, video games. Yeah, man. Anybody want to start? You know, like, what do y'all think? Like, what do y'all, any burning, topics y'all want to cover about video games?
Definitely. What do you guys think about the PlayStation 5?
I'm getting it because it looks amazing. Better than Xbox, but we're not gonna get into that rival debate here.
That's a debate, buddy.
We're not gonna try to split. We're not gonna split our fan base right now.
Nah.
Okay. I'm pretty chill on it. It's not like I'm anti-commercial or anything, but I'm always behind. I usually stay a step behind a generation. That's usually just how I do it. Just a weird pocket I got into. So, but I used to get excited about it up until 3 when I was younger. But
yeah, pretty much. How about you, Marcus? What do you think of the PS5, man?
I'm not sure yet because, so far they've just been telling us what it's going to do and how it's going to support this and that. And they release it. See, the thing to get me is they smart because they releasing all these games that's exclusive for next gen that they know we want to play. They pissing me off because they putting the next Spider-Man game, which is with Miles Morales, on the PS5 when I'm still playing the PS4. And I'm like Dikembe. we didn't get our PS4 and Xbox One until probably about the third year. So I'm the same way. I'm a bit behind, the generation when it comes to the next gen games because if you think about it, they really kind of released them at bad times. People just really start getting comfortable with their consoles that they have now. And then it's oh, we got the next gen coming. So it's let me have some time with the one I have right now and then, drop it because we already know it's going to be bugs and all that kind of stuff going on. So I just always wait, until it's out. I always wait till a year just to see, they get the kinks and all that stuff out. But, it looks cool. They got me with the Spider-Man game. So
yeah. I'm
hyped.
hyped.
But even with that, I don't know, I have a love-hate kind of relationship with kind of like Marcus was saying, how they release these systems because I feel like the graphics aren't going to be that much different. I didn't see the point in making the PS5 right now. I just didn't see it. Me and Josh were watching the video the other day and I was telling them about it because they were having it was a demonstration on the graphics for the newer PS5 games, and they were breaking it down and talking about how many pixels and triangles they're using for the lighting and all that stuff. And I'm watching this game, and I'm like, dude, it looks like Uncharted.
Hey, don't mess with Uncharted. Uncharted was great, okay?
No, it's great, but the graphics aren't any different from the most recent Uncharted, and they're talking about the pixels, the triangles. There's a billion, bashmillion triangles, dude. But the graphics don't look any different.
Look different.
Yeah.
It's the
Maybe
same.
it'll get better. Like maybe eventually
it might be that contrast to like the human eye contact. It's kind of like when you can take the best picture possible of like artwork.
Yeah.
You see it in person, and whether it's like really large and it's a different effect of seeing it, or actually seeing the textures of the different mediums. It might be like a firsthand kind of difference, but it kind of like when you start saying those specs, it feels like when people talk about the blackness of like a television screen. Like I don't understand having extra blues or black in like a 45-inch screen. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand how that benefits me because it's such a very specific thing that I wouldn't have thought of. Versus, you know what I'm saying? It's like a bump, but it's a bump. Like, is it for me or is it for just, I guess, the resolution? Maybe something runs better or something. I don't know. Maybe something's more fluid. But it's like, do we care?
Right. Well, is it going to change the game experience?
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's what they get caught up in a lot now. Is like the resolution and how it's gonna look and what it's gonna present you with, and look how beautiful. Like they be saying stuff like, "Look how beautiful the landscape is, and how the grass feels like grass, and how the water flows." I mean, that's nice. I'm not playing the game. I could go outside and look at some water and grass, like, or look at these animals that got their own kind of like personalities, and they react to you when you walk by. Like, okay, that's nice, but I mean, I'm not finna pay $600 for a whole new system. Like,
right, for a dog to smile at me or something when I walk past.
So it's like really.
I got a question. Like, how do you guys feel about the VR then? Like, they're gonna try to put with it. Like, do you feel like that's a little overkill? Because like, you could go outside or whatever, that like take it away from that outside experience, or like, do you think it's okay?
I mean, VR is cool because it's just something else to do. I mean, it's just another way you can play.
Do you think that it's gonna like make people like not want to go outside, or like, you know, like prefer that or anything, or do you think it's just like this extra thing?
I think it will in the media. You know, gaming community always gets beat up by something we're doing wrong to somebody's kids. So we're gonna have that one person just like thumping a manual, like, these kids are never going outside when they see these graphics. Like, it's gonna be some bullshit. So I expect that. I expect that.
Yeah. The thing with me is, I think that will be, of course, it's not going to be, you know, a wonderful thing because, you know, you want to go outside, get your fresh air. And we're already talking about now how things like video games and even cell phones are stopping people from going outside and getting cardio in and, you know, just running around like I guess kids did in the 90s and before then. But I would actually like VR to get so sophisticated that we almost can't distinguish between the game and I guess being outside, or just doing regular things in general, because the VR that we have now, and at least the stuff that I've seen, because I haven't played the most recent VR games, but I have seen demonstrations, and you know, it's okay. Like Marcus, I don't know if you've got a chance to see the Star Wars VR yet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you talking about the Vader? I think Immortal or something like that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and that was cool.
It's pretty good.
It reminded me, I don't know if y'all remember this, but like back, like when arcades was still like big, they had a Star Wars arcade game, and you could play through the different like stories in the original trilogy, and it was like Empire, New Hope, and Return of the Jedi, and it was almost like, it wasn't like virtual reality, but it was like first person view, and like at the when you play like Return of the Jedi, it was a part at the end where you could fight Vader, and you was Luke, and you had like the lightsaber, and what you would control it with, it was like a little joystick, but like to shoot like you was in a ship, but you would use it to like, you know, it'd tell you to go right to block his attack, and then go like, you know, left, right, like that. So it reminded me when I seen that virtual reality, like for the whole game, it's just like, wow, how, you know, how far technology has come, because now you can, it feels even more realistic because you actually have more control of what you're doing inside a video game, like in this virtual that was just like an arcade and a screen. So it took me back to that. So that's what I thought about when I seen that. But it was cool.
Yeah, I do remember that too. Like, I think I was intimidated. Like, I didn't, because I never wanted to play the games where like I felt I would lose my money right away, and I'll see the person losing the demo to Vader like in 2 strikes.
Yeah,
And I do remember seeing that specific little clip, that section at least. I never actually played it.
So, go ahead, Dmitri.
So what you're saying, Chad, is like to bounce off of your sophistication. You're saying like you kind of want it like eventually to be like where you kind of like have like, you know, like the anime SAO, like Sword Art Online.
Exactly.
Like that.
Sword
You
Art
want it to
Online.
be like to where you're immersed in it, to where you can't even, you're out of your body.
Well, now for all our like people are out there that are
Yeah.
anime watchers and stuff like that, definitely not Sword Art Online, because I don't want to be in the situation to where it's like I'm starting off trying to have fun playing the game, but then I'm like, oh, I can't get out the game. Oh,
So
and
you
if I die,
like, what was the show, Black Mirror? Like, oh boy.
right? No. Oh
Yeah.
no. No, sir, not that. I don't want to be.
But that's a great example, like, of how
That
virtual reality can go like a totally different way in gaming. Like,
bruh, it can go totally left. I can figure like
that was uncomfortably good. Like, it was a very uncomfortable episode, and well, it was like a really great story. On the
it
side.
was though.
Like, I was like on the edge of my seat, like, this is drama. This is drama.
Yeah.
This is
and honestly, with all that was said, I think video like VR could make people not want to go outside anymore, because they could just get to the point where it's really addictive, and there'd be no reason to live actual life anymore, but to a point where it has so many triangles or so many graphics in it.
I mean, yeah, especially when you can like when you can hook up in a game like that. Because remember how they were like in the episode, old dude was just like, he was hooked. He was like, man, I done slept with a polar bear, bro.
that
Right.
man, he was tripping, man.
Nah, for real though. Yeah, in a situation like that, man, I hope it wouldn't get to that point to where we could literally hook up in games. But I guess coming to more like where we are now, I know you guys have seen like some test footage. I don't know if it's actually real, but they have like the little like they'll have somebody in a VR helmet, and then they'll have like a little platform that is kind of like I guess you could say, I think it's, what do you call it, like an elliptical or something, and you can actually walk around in this platform.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen a couple of those demonstrations. It's like they even had the ones like you holding like something that would be like a gun in the game, and you can turn, and like something will come behind you, and if you actually turn around like in real life in that space, you'll turn around and see what's behind you. You talking about that?
Exactly. Like, I would like to be able to have something that can safely immerse me in a game to where I can walk around but not have to worry about tripping over something in my living room or walking out in the traffic like Pokemon Go or some stuff like that.
No, it's like that one I think you're familiar, Chad, with that one Community episode where like the dean like literally becomes immersed in like that virtual reality, and like the elliptical around him, and like he's just walking and stuff like that.
Exactly. You get it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, another question for you guys. What do you think is the most addictive game you've played?
That's hard because there's so many of them.
It's a lot.
I'll be the first to go, because mine is a good one, because it's not so addictive, but it is something that I will sit down and play for hours, and it's like my guilty pleasure. But The Sims, like The Sims 3, like especially, that was like a game like I'll sit down and like be on my laptop like probably all day and play, because it's just fun to like, you can control people's lives and like just have all kind of craziness going on. So I think for me, that was like kind of a game that I didn't get addicted to it because I could get off, but I definitely would put like some long hours into it. It was that, and then this other computer game called The Movies, and that's because I love film. So I would just try to make little movies like within the game.
I think in the den.
Yeah.
So, I'll go second.
And
I think the Fallout series for me was that, because like Fallout, I could put like so much hours into it, because like you have your character customization, and you have all the dialogue you have with all the characters that's like almost infinite, because each character has like so much dialogue.
Oh wow.
And then you could do the game so many different ways that you could like never really like beat it like the same way each time. So like I played Fallout New Vegas for like days. Like I played it for days. Like I took breaks, but like that game was so good. Like it's just addicting. Like once you get started and you start making your character and you customize it and you go through the world and you make those decisions like, oh, you can be good at this person or you can be bad to him. Like you kind of like get kind of stuck in that kind of like decision making and stuff like that. That was cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna speak for me and Joshua on this one because, and Josh, you already know how many hours have me and you put into Tekken, bro.
A lot.
It's ridiculous.
But Tekken isn't my most addictive game though. Like,
really? As many hours as we put into Tekken?
Not Warframe.
There it is. Yeah, Warframe is another one. Yes.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, I done seen people in some man caves on that game.
But I just want to oh yeah, Dikembe, you didn't go. Go ahead. What's your most addictive game?
Oh, I was gonna wait on Josh while I was thinking. I didn't mean to interrupt you, bro.
Oh, you good?
Oh,
what's up,
all
Josh?
good. Yeah.
You.
Yeah, I was pretty much done.
I don't know. That's tough. I'm not sure. I want to say Grand Theft Auto 4 because, like, I play a lot of the different series because I love them, but that one in particular, like, has the most replay value when it comes to just goofing around. I think Grand Theft Auto 4, but I feel like that's a cop-out. Like, I feel like there's something better, but I just can't put my finger on it right now.
I do remember that you were the rematch king in Injustice, though. Like you were, like this man did like 100+. Like every time the match ain't even in yet. Nah, bro, rematch. Nah, bro. Like,
yeah, people will reel you in like that. I think it's like the whole psychology, like revenge betting. It's kind of like the same kind of reward system, I think, because I remember playing somebody at our school at one point, and I was trying to leave so I could get ready for something the next day, and it was like rematch, and it was PlayStation All Stars. Like it was just destroying us, and I think I played them literally like 100 times. So sometimes competitively, it can make things a little bit more hooky, for sure.
Yeah, it can get crazy. But I mean, that's just the nature of fighting games, and that's why I love them so much. Like that's why I was saying, like with me and Josh, like we put, even though Josh was like, you know, he was big on Warframe too. I forgot all about that. But man, back when we first started playing, like what was it, Josh? That's Tekken 6. We played into the ground.
It was Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Oh, Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Yeah, man, that was crazy. Like, and what are some of y'all's favorite fighting games though?
For me,
I know
I'm big on Mortal Kombat because that was like my first ever fighting game I played when it was on the Sega Genesis. And that was back when they had like the whole code, like when they came up with like the code for the game, like the I can't think of the word right now, but when they were putting like mature and for teens and all that, that's when they came up with that. On my age here, but that's when you used to go to Blockbuster, and if you wanted to rent a game and it was mature, you had to have your parents with you. So he did it for us, but my dad, he didn't care. So the first fighting game I played was Mortal Kombat, and I think it was Mortal Kombat 3. And I just thought it was so cool that like you could hit people and blood would come out, and like Me and my brother, we sucked at it because we didn't know how to do none of the finishers. All we knew how to do was like punch and kick until the person dies, and then we know we won. But for me, that was like my first like introduction into like a fighting game that I love, because I played Street Fighter too, like, you know, the original ones. I played that back in the day. But for me, it was like Mortal Kombat, because like that was the first time like me and my brother like played the actual against each other. To this day, you know, we still play it. So that's my Tekken. I ain't never really been good at it. I just know how to mash the buttons and get lucky. And I learned the hard way about Tekken, because I put my ass in Tekken one time, and I was like, this is not for me. So,
do you feel like Mortal Kombat ever had like a dip? Like, I feel like,
oh yeah,
I didn't realize it had people were kind of hating on it until like it kind of revived with 9. It seemed like, I guess, some of the fans hated some titles, and I didn't know that because I played it so casually.
Yeah, it kind of had a dip. I think like between those years, like when it was on the PS2, and they tried like the Shaolin Monks, Armageddon, which was good. Those Armageddon and Shaolin Monks was pretty good, but it was like up and down through the years, because they were like trying to make a story and then add this storyline and add these characters. And then with 9 is when they kind of like just rehashed everything and rebooted, and they started like with a whole new story. And then they took it. I think 9 is what brought the fans back, like original fans, because after that, that's when we really started getting back into it, because we hadn't played Mortal Kombat for a while. Because I remember they came out with DC versus Mortal Kombat, and I did not like that game.
It was kind of cheesy. I
was okay with it,
bro. Like,
I was okay.
I was like, how do you get to fight with the Joker and Superman, but you can't like blow nobody head off or shoot laser beams?
Okay.
It was still like PG-13, so it didn't feel like Mortal Kombat. So, but now, you know, now they put like Joker in the games, and you can do that stuff, and it just shows you like how far, you know, it's come. But I agree with you, Dikembe. It did take like kind of a dip, and a lot of people, you know, were criticizing it for years, but it's definitely revived itself over the past, I say, 4 years. So it's definitely come back with a big bang.
But yeah, what fighting, like, what video game do you guys think has?
I'm gonna be honest though, I kind of like those. No, sorry, I started lagging.
Wait, are we gonna talk about everybody else's fighting games, or we? Yeah.
Yeah, if everybody went, yeah.
Oh, I didn't go.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was like, dang, all right, cool. Forget me, all right? Okay, cool. But nah, mine is like Soul Calibur. I love Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur was that game, boy. Oh,
yeah.
When it came back, I was like, ugh. And then they had my boy, Keelik, the dude with the pole. Man, that's my guy.
Yes.
That's the only person I knew how to play when I was a kid. That's the only person I knew how to play with as a kid. And I would mop people. Older cousins would come in the room to get mopped by me. And I didn't know how to play. I just knew how to do the pole moves.
Hey, that's all you need to know.
That's it. My favorite, I love Nightmare though. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Nightmare's dope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Thick Free too.
It's so love-hate with Nightmare, man. Gosh. And then that ugly
What do you hate about him, bro?
Because it's like he seems really chill, and then he gets like OP out of nowhere. Like,
I don't know. I mean, bro, out of nowhere.
Isn't that like every character in a fighting game? No, they seem chill, but they're really overpowered.
It's always one.
And then somebody get nerfed.
Yeah, basically.
I would say on Soul Calibur, I honestly like playing almost everybody, but I just loved having the cameo with Spawn. When Spawn was a guest on there,
that was cool.
The older ones, I was like, whoa. So and speaking of Mortal Kombat, it's cool to see him come back on screen too.
Yes, he is fire. Like,
he is the literal fire, the truth.
Yeah, because we missed out on him on the last copy when they were like having rumors about him coming out on 10. So it
Shout
was
out.
good to see.
Shout out to Todd McFarlane for making that happen, because he told him, like, yeah, it's cool. I would love to have Spawn in Mortal Kombat. So I was like, yes. He gave the stamp of approval, so I was glad that happened.
Seriously, man. Seriously. So yeah, that's my dude.
I would say absolute love if it's not a boxing game, but as far as like fictional stuff, Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. I love that.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that's
that
a
game
classic.
was so cool.
Man, that game is awesome.
Man, that's a classic. And it was so ahead of its time, though, y'all. Like that game. Oh my god! Like as far as I'll be honest, man. Like that game for me is more cutting edge than even what Injustice is doing now.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that was such a good game. I really wish somebody would either make a remaster version of that or just like rehash it and bring it back. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, that'd be so cool, man. But yeah, Josh, you had a question, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was gonna ask y'all, what do you think is the worst video game you played?
It's a lot. I can think of a lot of video games I played that was terrible.
Worse.
I don't know. Like
some of the best questions are really stumping us this time.
Yeah.
It is.
First it was the
Seriously.
worse.
I'm trying to think.
I didn't get to experience it, but I could feel like the secondhand cringe for when they re-released Def Jam, when they did like the third one.
Def Jam Icon.
I heard that was pretty bad, but I didn't get to get scarred by that.
Yeah, it was kind of uncanny. Like you could pick Young Jeezy, he was doing like karate.
Bro, didn't it look so weird to see T.I.
It was
karate
very
kick
weird,
somebody?
man. Like,
Yeah, and my thing is, the thing with that game is like they only recycle like 5 different fighting styles.
yeah,
they didn't try to give it different characters different moves.
Didn't. Yeah. And the biggest like trash moment for me in that game is like, how in the world are you gonna make Anthony Anderson the villain? Anthony Anderson,
the villain.
That's who we choose for the villain, guys.
Oh,
The guy from
man.
Blackish. Like,
that's the villain. What the hell? Oh,
like, you know how many people you went through before you? I'm just trying to figure out the thought process. I'm just like,
was Anthony Anderson too.
yeah. They were just like, all right, guys, we got Snoop Dogg for the last game. That was great, man. Yeah. So who we gonna pick this time around? Man.
That's
Anthony Anderson.
Honestly, that might have been a setup, man. Maybe somebody like behind the scenes was trying to like bring down that
trying to ruin the game. Well, they did a great job.
Somebody maybe got set up or paid off or something. Because that does sound weird. Like, I mean, the most I've seen him around music, I guess, was was it Aaliyah? Get Back Up and Try Again. Some movie. There was like rap music in there, I think.
Oh, it was it Romeo Must Die?
Yeah. So like,
I think he was like a brother or something in the movie. I can't remember.
I just wonder how he got connected. That's just so odd. I don't know.
He probably just asked.
Right.
Please make me the villain. Please make me the
right.
villain.
Please make me the villain. But even not just that aside, the whole concept of that game was really bizarre because not only did they have rappers and even that era was a weird time for rappers because we didn't have like the insurgence of like all. I guess you could say like the newer Renaissance era of all these new rappers coming in. So I think this would be a great moment to drop a new Def Jam game.
No, it really would. It really would.
But like I said, the concept was weird because they had this whole DJ thing going on, and you like make a scratch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you go Rick, and then go back, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Excuse my language, but oh my god! Like I'm literally fighting, right? And then my dude, like the computer, does the little thing, and like it just blasts me across the screen, like something explodes or something. I was like, "Bro, what is this, bro?"
Yeah, and the computer gets the combination right every time.
Every time, bro.
every single
Yeah.
They
time.
never mess up. They never mess up. Like I used to be so mad, bro. Like man, and it's crazy because I don't get how they went from like two great games that were
Great
like
games.
perfect, and then because like Vendetta and Fight for New York were like a like plot story, like how you built your character, the fighting, especially with Fight for New York, because you got to customize, like fully customize your character, get the jewelry, the shoes, the voice, all that. And then it's like Icons is like, oh yeah, we just worried about how flashy you look, and if you can remix a song. Like I ain't trying to be no DJ, I'm trying to fight, man.
Exactly.
And
If
also,
I wanted to be a DJ, I would have bought, what was that game?
DJ Hero.
DJ Hero.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be. Yeah. I hear you on that.
Yeah, man.
Josh, I really can't think of a game I ever played that was bad, because knowing me, if I played it, I probably either threw it away, took it back, and just forgot about it. So I really don't remember a bad game I played because I tried to get them. So I have nothing on that one.
Yeah, I don't got any either, because I made sure to like hear about the game first, and then like go get it. It's like, okay, it's got a decent review, I'll try it out. Like I never was like, this game would be nice. Let's give it a try.
Demetrius, why you lying, bro? You know the
Oh,
word.
I know again. I know. I figured it out. Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh my god, that game was so bad. You press one button, it does a whole combo set.
Right. It's basically like they created a game for people that just don't have the energy to play a video game.
Or a fighting game.
It's just like, bro.
Yeah.
I was
thinking about it.
That's a bad game, man. That's a bad one.
It really is. They tried to like bring back the Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi hype, but then they were like, well, most people don't know how to play a video game now, so let's just make it easy for them. Let's put one button for everything,
Right.
One button does a whole combo over here. If you want to do a blast, you do this button, this button, this button, and I does a blast for some reason, let's mix it up.
No, yeah, that's hands down. I won't say the worst video game, but hands down the worst Dragon Ball Z video game of all time. Like, hands down.
Thank you for helping me recall that, because I was not thinking about it. I think I just blocked it out of my mind because it was so bad. I just tried to forget about it and suppress it because of how much pissed off I was about it. But thank you, Josh. You revived something in me there.
Yeah.
No, that was definitely a trash game. I'm trying to think. Okay, I wasn't a fan of Tony Hawk's Proving Grounds. That had to be my least favorite out of like the whole skateboarding era of video games. Tony Hawk's Proving Ground. It just seemed so lazy. Like it was
It did. What
really? Oh, go ahead.
What would you say was your best? What was your favorite, or what was the best Tony Hawk like pro skating game that you played out of all of them?
Just like out of the whole series of Tony Hawk games, period, or just Pro Skater?
Yeah, this whole series, whatever.
Oh man, the whole series. It had to be Tony Hawk's American Wasteland.
Yeah.
That game there, son.
That was perfection.
That was a game, man.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean the stage transitions like that, because that game, the biggest selling point for that game was it didn't have loading screen.
Yes, and I loved it. It was
it was amazing. It was amazing.
If they do a remaster, that definitely needs to get done, because I will definitely buy it. Like in a heartbeat, I will buy that game.
I just wonder why they keep remastering the wrong games. Like they keep remastering Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I'm like, y'all stop doing that. Remaster some of the later games.
Exactly. Cause like I played that game when I was like 6, and I was like, okay, it's cool, but you don't get to get off the skateboard. Like I don't want to just skate around all day.
Right.
Yeah. And also, like the Tony Hawk game soundtracks were amazing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Right.
I like dirt. And dirt like
Right. Exactly. So with that being said, guys,
nice
I
one
wanted
though,
to...
Chad. No, I was saying good, like recommendation. That was.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. But, huh?
Oh, that good plug. You just kind of good.
Oh yeah, you know, I'll be trying, but no, I mean, because it helps me lead into the next point, which is perfect. Because I wanted to know how important is atmosphere in video games for you guys, like as far as scenery, music, like how much does that, I guess, add to the enjoyment of the actual process of you playing the game?
Well, it depends on the game. Like if it's an action-based game, like I need that music to be like really like hard hitting when I'm like fighting somebody, because like I need to be like pumped up and stuff like that. Or like I need the scenery to be like behind me. Like I'll say, for example, like Uncharted, like the fourth one when we were facing like Raish at the end, and the flaming shit behind me, and like the music was there. Like I needed that because I needed to know that I needed that energy to like beat him down, because he had been like the villain the whole series, and I was like waiting for my chance, and I was like, and they set it up so perfectly with the music and the scenery and the cutscenes worked out. Like it all was good, and then like the actual like how it was animated, everything, like it was good. Like it was so good.
I loved that. I really loved that. That game scenery was just, it was, but that's all the Uncharted games. Like that's the big.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So how about you guys? How do y'all feel about like the whole thing with the atmosphere in video games?
Well, I think atmosphere is really important because games try to bring you as close to real life as possible. Where they have a whole lot of colors, more explorable atmosphere, especially with like action games and stuff. I think the closer to real life, the more captivating the game is. That's why like GTA 5 is such a success.
Yeah.
Huge. I gotta agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing too. Like, it's a very hard balance to get, because we were just like clowning on how like how immersive the graphics will be and how much better they'll be, but I can't get my finger on why some people apply it better. But there was this one game, I guess that's like a trend where it's like you kind of forget the game the more you dislike it, because they had like these kind of like dinosaur robots and stuff. People kind of had like, it was like a mix between tech and tribal.
Oh, that it's a newer game, right?
Yes.
And it's like with a female
like
lead?
2019.
Is it like a female lead? It's on the tip of my tongue. What is it called?
I know what you're talking about, but Dikembe, you didn't like that game?
Exactly what you're talking about, Dmitri.
Yeah, I didn't like the feel of it. Like it's because when you say atmosphere, I kind of feel like the animations and stuff kind of work into that too.
It does.
Like, it kind of give, like, if a game doesn't have a certain weight to it, I don't know how they go about it, if it's the engine or anything. And that game, it was something about it, like with the scenes and everything, when they would talk to each other, and like just something how they built up the scenes and how the people looked. I think they were in that uncanny valley kind of place. So it's like it doesn't matter if they do it right. It's kind of like with people when they add sound to movies. It's like it's only bad if you notice it's bad, but when it's good, you don't even notice.
You don't realize it.
You're doing a good job if it's like not taking you out of the immersion. So I would say atmosphere is really important.
And
I would say so.
Can't find it.
that's interesting. You talked about, we talking about atmosphere and stuff like that, because I took a game theory class for my senior seminar in college, and we talked a lot about your experience when you play games, and like this thing like the game body, and how you almost embody yourself in that avatar, and like you see yourself, you live in the world, and you got this I can't get the word, but you got to separate yourself from the real world and the game world, and how you immerse yourself in that. And I know we talked a lot about, do you embody, are you embodying the game in that character, or is it just, for that moment, as you play, that get that experience. And the atmosphere, has a lot to do, because it's just like with the aesthetics of film. When you go to a theater, you got, the sound, you got the actual screen, you got the seats, the actual film that's playing, and you get that full experience. And, it immerses you into the film for that moment. And, that's that one moment where you're taken from the real world into this fictional world. But then when it's over, you come back and you like, okay, it's over now, so now I'm back here. And with video games, it's like, it's a little bit different, because sometimes you really can get immersed into a game where you'll really be like going through the emotions with the game. Like, if your character like keeps dying, you get angry, and like you ready to like throw the controller or punch a hole in the wall, and it feels real to you, because like, you immersed yourself into that avatar and into that world, because like y'all said, like the examples y'all use, like music, environments, animations, different things like that, is playing on your mind, that you're in this world. And that's crazy, because like we talked about earlier with virtual reality, that's without virtual reality that you're immersed in a game. So just imagine like with stuff like that. So it's interesting, because like I never thought I would dive that deep into like video games, but it's really this whole thing about like the mind, the body, like the experience, like why we play the games, like as far as like we play them because we want to fail, and what that failure does. And it's like, that's just like a whole nother like subject for another day, so I don't want to kill y'all with my theory, but
well, I'm actually really interested. I kind of wanted you to keep going, so I'm gonna ask you a question. So but yeah, bro, just because like you're big into film, I know there's a lot of stuff that goes into film psychologically that gets the viewer kind of sucked into that world. So I wanted to ask, like, as far as video games, because over the years, we've seen them go from like, Pong to things like Rayman to Mega Man to Mario. And then now we have guys like Nathan Drake and Ellie and Joel, and characters that really embody people in real life. So I wanted to know, like, what sort of cues do these video game companies take from like cinema in order to kind of suck us into that world? Because when I'm playing The Last of Us, I feel like Ellie, what I'm saying? I feel like Joel. I feel like I'm these characters, and when they get attacked or when somebody comes up on them, I feel like I'm scared. I feel like somebody's attacking me. Or when somebody wrongs them, I feel like I've been wronged. It's some kind of psychological thing that's making me emotionally attached to these characters. And I feel the same way I do if I was rooting for the hero in a movie. So I just wanted to know, like, what is that? Like, what are some of those ideas that they're taking from cinema?
And that's interesting, because it feels, I was just talking about that like not too long ago, how video games are starting to seem more like cinema than like video, like an actual video game now. And it's almost like you're playing out a movie, but with a movie, it's a beginning, middle, and the end, but it's structured, so it's gonna happen this way. With a video game, you kind of predetermine what's gonna happen, even though they programmed it to happen a certain way. You make certain decisions on that way to the to the end of the game. But with the movie, it's like, okay, I know somebody got killed in his family. He's gonna go find them. Either he's gonna die or he's gonna live at the end. But you just watch and go through that experience. With a video game, it's like, okay, we get to either develop this character, give them traits, you know, watch them go through this. And I think that's why you get so much more emotionally attached to it, because, you know, it's like you. As far as like a movie, you're watching, but with a game, you're playing.
Right.
And I want to say it's Freud who came up like with psychoanalysis, and it's like this whole thing where it's some BS where he was like, you're not really immersed in it, and you don't feel like the fear or like the pain, just your mind. I can't remember because it was so long ago, but you know, you can argue like your reality with those experiences because everybody has a different experience. And
Right.
I just feel like now, and that's really with everything is getting like more like complex as far as like how they tell a story. Like I actually watched the behind the scenes of some of this stuff, and they actually had them in like mocap suits, like at a sound stage, acting it out, you know,
Right.
with the voice actors and everything. So it's almost set up like a movie nowadays. So, you know, they getting those aesthetics of film, and now it's in video games. So it's like a whole new, you know, ballpark with gaming. And I think that's why, you know, with like we were talking about earlier with like next generation and stuff, it's getting so easy how we getting into this, because like we sitting here arguing like if we're going to get a console or not because of a certain game. And a few years ago, we really didn't care because it's like, hey, I got what I got right here at home, and I'll just play that until then. So
Right.
I think if that answered your question, I don't know if I went off topic,
No,
but
no,
yeah,
that's perfect. Yeah.
that's what I think.
No, that's perfect, because it's like the same thing. Like we're sitting here talking about how, because you know, let's cut the crap. All of us are going to get the PS5. You know what I'm saying? We're all going to get it
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
why? We want to see what's going to happen with Miles Morales. Like we want to be like,
Exactly.
I'm interested. I'm like, okay, I got to see what's going to go on with Miles Morales. I don't want to be left out. I want to play. I want to embody my favorite character. I want to embody Spider-Man. I want to be Spider-Man. So everybody, and you know, these gaming companies, they all know this already. You know, that's why they can do stuff like release a game or release a system that's literally going to have the same graphics as the last system, because they already know we're interested. You know, we're going to buy it regardless, you know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man.
I might be broke for like a few months, but hey, I get to play that game.
Exactly. I get to have that experience though.
I'm not gonna be left out. It's gonna be one of y'all that ain't playing it. It's not gonna be me.
Exactly. So how about you, Demetrius? What do you think about atmosphere in video games, bro? And do you have any examples at all?
I mean, earlier we were talking about atmosphere, and I used Uncharted, which is the game. But I guess you can say go a little bit deeper, but like, and we could talk about what what you asked Marcus about film. But I think like the way that they animate like the characters and make them like feel like, you know, real is part of that atmosphere. It's like part of the reason why you'll play through an Uncharted series, even though like, you know, you can't relate to Nathan Drake's adventures, but you can relate to what he's going through, like how he has to go through things because, you know, he has a love of treasure, or maybe his wife or girlfriend or whoever is like, you know, taken hostage, or like his daughter is, you know, doing whatever. But like, it's just the atmosphere, you get stuck in it. Like it's all based on like what you're interested in. Like I'm interested in adventure games and stuff like that. So that's what I like to play, and that's what makes me like get really immersed and forget time. Like I forget like hours go by. Like I'll play and I'll be like, oh, I'll play for like an hour. 6 hours go by. And I'm already almost beating the game and whatnot. Like
the sun that went down and everything.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So like it's like it starts to become like really real. Like and I think that that's something that like, because I was gonna ask later on like how you guys felt like the progression of games were, and like I think that embodies what, you know, what I'm explaining now is like they've gotten so sophisticated, like Marcus was saying, that, you know, you're playing through a movie. You know what I mean? At that point in time, you're like playing a scene by scene of a movie in a different way. Like you're actually doing it instead of seeing it. You know, and instead of back in the day where, like, you know, Jumpman, we didn't really, you know, you didn't know much about Jumpman, you know, it was before he became Mario. You know, and it wasn't that deeper level of like story to him or like character. You know, and now there is. Now each character, you're like, okay, how am I gonna relate to this character? What part of this am I gonna gravitate to? Like, why am I gonna be mad at the villain? Like, what's the motivation? Why am I doing what I'm doing? So I think that it's progressed a lot, and hopefully that answered your question, because I rambled a little bit there.
No, you're good. And I think something that both you and Marcus and Dikembe hit on is just like the thing that I guess brings that emotion out of those video games is just the way that they're made now, like the evolution of, you know, how the games are recorded, because it's not even so much that you have an actor or somebody sitting in a sound booth or something. These guys are actually on a stage and, you know, going through these motions and wearing motion capture suits. And and for me, you know, I would just love to give a shout out to I don't know if you guys really know these dudes like that, but like Troy Baker and and Nolan North, like, and they contributed
a game, voice acting and gaming, like, for real.
Yeah, I mean, those guys really, I mean, and they contributed to both, you know, Uncharted and Last of Us. I mean, and they bring it every single time, and I'm just like, you know, even in Batman, you know, Troy Baker was the Joker, you know, and Arkham Origins, I want to say.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just like these guys, they bring it like they're, you know, in a movie, you know what I'm saying? And it really brings that emotion across. And yeah, it just gets me more interested in playing whatever game I'm in and makes me really immerse myself, you know, in that character. Like it's crazy. But did you?
Can I jump on that?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, you just made me remember that as well. As far as a few more examples.
Of course.
Superhero genre for sure. Arkham did atmosphere for sure. Like when they just took every detail of like the character down to the T and everything. Even when you, I mean, obviously the first game looks a lot different now compared to the spin-offs and the continuation of the series. But when I saw how they did that and everything, like Gotham was really like, whoa, like this is really just a town riddled with crime, like super dark and everything. You could go to the parents' grave. No, not the grave, but the theater where they were shot. Like,
yeah,
everything, like they integrated like all of his gadgets and stuff, and like, you know, like it was, that game had a lot of atmosphere for sure. That definitely
it is
very wet, dark aesthetic.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's funny that you said that, because even like in the comic books and like the films, they always said Gotham itself is like a character, you know, in the comic book. So it already has its personality. And the fact that they could do that in a video game and give it personality, you know, it just shows you how much, like, you know, they put into these games nowadays. Like, they really, you know, appreciate what kind of, well, some of them appreciate what kind of product they
do. Some
people, they just trying to take our money, and it shows.
It shows, I swear.
And a few other I want to mention, not just like to dive into them, but when you mentioned Arkham, I also thought of that game that it kind of blurred the line in movies and games. It had Willem Dafoe, I think, as one of the characters.
Yes.
And all of the characters had the real voice actor's face. And like, I was doing something that day, but I remember how y'all were reacting to it, how like y'all said like, it was almost like Wasteland. Like you couldn't tell the transitions when they were happening. You couldn't tell almost the game from the cutscene. Like it was, you were like really into it. Like it was Souls or something like that. Souls of Us or something. Like
I'm looking up the game now. Give me 1 second. So Willem, because yes, dude,
Ellen
I
Page in
love
it
that
too, right?
game.
Yes, I believe so. I think that's her name. I'm not sure. But does she kind of like look young, but she's older?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah, that's what it
There we
was.
go.
Oh, I played that game. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
game was nice.
atmosphere for you.
Yeah.
That game was really big. Yeah, it was really big for kind of like you said, blurring the line between, okay, is this a movie or is this a video game? I mean, yeah, that was big. I love Beyond Two Souls. That was
This
really
might
good.
make me a little sad. I don't know. This might have been a sleeper hit. But do y'all know Mark of Cree? The
No, I
Mark of
don't think
Cree?
I've heard of that one.
Oh man.
Mm-mm.
I guess it just didn't make it. Like it was this may be before the 2010s. This may be like 2008 maybe, 2009.
So it's called Mark of Cree?
Yeah, the Mark of Cree. What they would do, their transitions weren't smooth, but the way how they made atmosphere is like things were like paintedly and like
There he is.
like cartoonish. And when you would go from different levels, you would be a painting, and then the painting would transition to the next level you're at, and you would just start playing immediately.
Oh, I see that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
I never played it though.
Yo, high recommendation for gameplay and immersion. I didn't like the second one very much, but it was like it was a little bit of witchcraft, but mostly it was like just physical combat, a little bit of espionage, a little spying around and stuff. And it's just like a guy and his sister, and they're like, it's like a little bit older days, like maybe not like Stone Age and stuff, but everybody's got like regular weapons, like staffs and stuff, and swords and axes. And it has, you fight different cultures. It's a beautiful game. Like they have.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, you fight guys on a mountain, like they're like what's the guys that do in the circle? It's dope. It's a really, yeah. I'll send it to y'all.
Okay. You said what?
I said, what game are you talking about, Dikembe?
No,
the Mark of Cree. Absolutely, like that was a very beautiful game. Like that was just an accidental pick. You know, when you kind of just give the game a shot, or you just ran it out.
Yeah,
you're like, this might be all right.
Yeah, we all had that. We all
been there. Bruh, you go to GameStop with man, those are some old days. I remember that. You go to GameStop with like $25 and you just look into the little bins, the $5 bin.
Come out with some man.
Yeah. You come out with the dumbest sounding game.
Hey, it'd be straight fire.
Like, what is Monkey Wrench for? And that'd be the hardest game like ever.
Right. Speaking of hard games, what do you guys think is the hardest game you played?
I just told y'all what it was.
Oh yeah,
Sekiro or Sariko, however you say it.
Samurai.
That game, cause I mean, it's made by developers from like Dark Souls, so I had heard the rumors like how hard that game was, and I was like, this game can't possibly be that bad. I played it, and when I tell y'all, like I had to do a PowerPoint on it, and I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning trying to play, and like I was just screaming and cursing all night. And like if anybody walked in my house, they would have thought I was like in a mental institution because it was driving me crazy. Because it's like, why did you make this game so hard? Like, what is the purpose? And it's like like I was telling y'all earlier, you die if you at one save point and you can go through like 3 different levels. But if you die at that 3rd level, gotcha, going right back. It's like, bruh, it's the worst like experience I've ever had with a game. And it's like I wanted to beat it, but at the same time I was like, I'm not finna let a game stress me out. Like I can't. It's a video game. And I was sitting there like, Like, what? I was like, bro, why I can't beat it? Like, no. I was like, oh, so I'm going to beat it. And then I just was like, you know what? I'm done. So that for me, that was the hardest game I played. Oh, and a throwback. I got it right here, too.
Okay, all right.
This little game right here, it's people who can't beat this now. This is the Lion King for the Sega Genesis.
Oh.
When I say this game was so hard to play, it was one level where you were like, it was doing when he sung I Can't Wait to Be King, and you had to swing through the trees, and like the monkeys would throw you, and like you would bounce off like the rhino and slide down. Bro, if you made one wrong calculated move, you would die, and like that would be it. And like this game was my introduction to a hard game, so
yes,
that's y'all right here. If y'all, if y'all ever want to play something that'll make you throw a controller.
Boy, you gotta get some extra controllers, make some copies.
Make some copies for real.
You hit the nail on the head for me because it sounds like it's a straight up platformer. When it's platformers that like side scroll, that's just kind of my Achilles heel, but specifically Mega Man. I've never really gotten far in any Mega Man series at all. Like maybe some Mario, some other games I can't think of, but Mega Man has beat me around. I picked up Ninja Gaiden at a friend's place and I put it down. I don't think I'll ever play Ninja Gaiden.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
I heard that game is very difficult, man.
It's hard as crap.
Most definitely.
People be asleep though on them old Disney games because I remember, dude. I agree with you because I used to have, I think it was a Toy Story 2 game, and when I tell you that crap was so hard, bro.
I remember that game, bro.
I don't know the name. No, matter of fact, I'm lying. Was it Toy Story 2? Yeah. Okay, so I don't know the name of that little race car. You know that little green race car with the face?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, there was this mini level, bro, that I could not get past because I had to steer it past like some toys or whatever, and I would always crash, bro. Like, I don't know why that was so hard. Do you remember that, Josh?
I think I remember that, yeah.
You had to be like a baby when I was playing, because that was like on our, I want to say Nintendo 64, bro.
Yep.
That was some hard mess. That was some hard mess, but.
Was it, it was like 3D? Because I've only played one Toy Story, and gosh, you're taking me back. Like.
Yeah, it was, matter of fact, Dikembe, I think I'm lying. That was a Toy Story 1 game, and it was 3D, but that was Toy Story 1, and that crap was hard to death.
It was, because it was like
I didn't beat that either.
Wasn't there like one level where you play like it's Buzz Lightyear?
Exactly.
You had to, like, get out the room or something, and you had to like jump off a ball or something.
Yes, bro.
Bro.
Yes. Oh my God, that mess was so like mind-numbingly hard. Like, oh, and I'm gonna say one more before I pass it on to somebody else. This is because like I'm kind of slow, guys. So like when I remember, and this was like the last era of the blockbuster movies and the blockbuster games. Because we, I think we rented Banjo-Kazooie, and there was one part, yes, but I could not get up the hill. I had no idea how to flip the backpack over and get the bird to walk me up the
bro,
hill.
it's hard. That's why. I had the same problem.
That crap was so hard.
Bruh.
Oh my God. I think Joshua, you would figure it out, bro. But basically, like I said, in the game, Banjo had to get up a hill, and apparently bears can't get up hills. So there, you had to press some kind of trigger to get Banjo to flip upside down, and and the bird that was in his backpack would walk him up the hill, and I could not get that to save my life, y'all.
And remind you, it was a controller that looked like this. You was using.
Right.
Right, man.
I still don't know how, bro. We all had to develop carpal tunnel syndrome for playing. I don't want that, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, what about you, Dmitri? What's your hardest game you played?
I had a little taste of the Dark Souls series, like the Bloodborne series. Oh my god, I hated that game. I'd be walking, strolling. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna roll to the city, whatever. And I'd be like, oh, there's an old man over there. Okay, I'm gonna go talk to him. He started beating my ass. Like he started coming at me. I'm like, hey man, I'm just trying to get directions. Why are you coming at me? It took me a couple times to just get past that part, but after a while, it just started getting hard. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put you down. I'll come back to you later. I just never came back to it. I forgot about it.
Man, tell me about it. Like, the hardest game I ever played was Jack 3. Jack 3.
Oh yes.
Oh my god.
Jack 3 was hard. Oh my gosh.
It took me 7 years to beat that game.
Some parts were. Some parts were.
Dang. Now,
You
when
didn't
I'm thinking
Jack was
Jack,
hard?
I just never thought they came like that. Like, okay, so Jack, that's the one with where he has the orange sidekick, or am I thinking about the wrong person?
No, that's
That's
it.
about the right one. Yeah.
His sidekick's like a little meerkat.
Yeah.
And he's like an
talking
alien,
meerkat.
right?
And Jack is like an elf.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
like a dark.
okay.
He's like an elf or dark elf, something like that, right?
I didn't know
Or he has a
Jax
dark
was
elf
going-
form. That's what it is. He has like another dark form.
Yeah.
So
He goes
all
into-
like they just went ham on you, bro. Like when you played
On
the
the
first
third
two,
one-
it was like decent, and then the third one was
No,
just
the second one. The second one I completely gave up on because it's literally unplayable.
Oh, I beat the second one. I made it through that. I made that a mission. The third one, I was like, I'm gonna beat it, but it was hard. I beat it, but it was
third one
so
was tough.
hard.
But the second one, yeah, I agree with Josh. It's unplayable. The second one, you cannot.
I did it. Like I
But
figured it out.
But to this day, I still can't get Jack out of jail.
I swear, right? That's so tough, bro. You just brought back so many memories. Oh my god. Yes.
Oh, man.
Dang. I underestimated that series because like when I see the characters, I always thought it was like a very like user-friendly type game. I didn't know they was kicking players like that.
It ain't Ratchet and Clank, bro. It ain't Ratchet and Clank, bro.
It ain't Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank is easy.
Okay.
No, serious. But what about you, Dikembe? What's your hardest game, bro?
I have to say Tomb Raider for sure. I'm still going to beat it. I still have a copy of like 2 of them, but I'm still trying to beat 2 and 3 of Tomb Raider to this day.
Is that the older one? Is it the older series or like the newer one?
Oh, the older one with Blocky Laura?
That was
Blocky
so-
Laura.
Why was it hard to make her walk? I'm just asking. Like, why?
It was. That game, man.
I couldn't even make Laurel jump, bro. What is up with it? Like, you had to know a cheat code to make that. I honestly think that's the hardest game I've ever played because I never got past the first part. Because you had to, basically, if I'm remembering correctly, she was outside and you had to make her run and jump from like one platform, or it was either some platforms or stairs to the other. And I could never do it. Like, I just don't know what's up with that game. Like,
it's like she's like a pool table. Like you have to angle her just right, punch over here, and then like you have to press your actual fingers. Like when you're jumping, you have to hold the grab button to grab the wall.
right.
Yeah,
That's
so you
too
can
much.
forget that. The fire wasn't forgiven. You get caught on fire, you probably instantly die. And I think the hardest thing about it, the camera was pretty decent. It'll get bad at times. But I think the hardest thing with Tomb Raider is even though you get infinite bullets, you take forever to get new weapons. Like you have to beat like maybe 10 hours of the game before you get a shotgun. Like that's the one thing that was annoying about it, like how long it takes to get better weapons. And then it's limited ammo. Like,
Bro, that game was just created to fail.
It really was.
To make fans just mad. Just make fans just be rage quit.
I swear.
real,
So,
man.
so, like, I guess with that being said, do you guys think, because obviously, Dikembe, you still trying to beat Tomb Raider, even though it's like, but do you guys think that, like, game difficulty, like, do you think it affects its replayability? Because, like, I've been in situations to where I played games that were way too easy, and then I was just like, okay. And same thing with Dark Souls. Like I'm just like, okay, it's too hard for me. I'm just not gonna attempt it anymore. But do you think that, you know, there's sort of like a middle ground where, like, you know, there's like a just right to the difficulty of a video game?
Yeah, I think that there's like, you gotta hit that middle ground, like where it's not too easy, but it's not too hard. It like challenges you just enough to where you're like, you feel accomplished, but you don't feel defeated. Like you don't feel like, dang, I wasted my time and I still didn't beat this level. You know,
Yeah.
once you get to that point, once you get to that roadblock, you like, and you put it down. Once you put down the game and say you'll come back to it later, is when you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna
do it.
Exactly.
You're not. Because does anybody else like feel? Because me and Joshua, right before we played The Last of Us, we had like a whole philosophical conversation about what difficulty level I should choose. So, like, does anybody else like feel a bead of sweat come down their face when they start a game and they're just like, choose your difficulty level? Like, because I don't want to be a punk and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go easy.
I know, right?
Whenever it says very easy, that's when I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm like, wait, whoa.
Hey,
yeah. I get scared when I see it. If it comes right up on the screen right away, it is intimidating.
It's intimidating, right?
Like when it's like the lowest difficulty is like normal, and like everything's like super hard, expert, you know, galactic like champion or whatever. You're just like,
right.
You're just like,
galactic champion.
Man, I learned the hard way with that, because I thought because I had beat Hitman, I think it was it Absolution, whichever the last one that was on like I think the PS3 and all that, whichever one that was. But I was like, oh, I beat the game. I was like, I could play on the next difficulty, and it the stuff that they took away, and I think it was like you couldn't see the enemies that long, like with the little mode where you could see them through the walls. And if you got a disguise, it didn't last for this long. If you know, got spotted, it was like super hard. Like I didn't last probably 20 minutes on a level because it was really for like experts. And I was like, okay, I get it. Like it's meant for people who really play this game like all the time. So the difficulty, but that's the thing. It was a game where I was, you know, willing to try it because it was so playable on the regular difficulty level that I was like, okay, let me see, you know, how it is harder. But then when you go to games like y'all say, like Dark Souls and all that, you start off like getting your ass beat. So it's like, I don't even want to know like what the hardest difficulty is because it's already difficult. Like,
right.
Exactly. Like Metal Gear Phantom Pain. I'm never gonna go back.
Bruh. Never.
Have you played 3 Snake Eater?
Yes.
That is hard. I got that game right now, and I still can't beat it, bro.
Please beat it, please. It's so good.
Yes, no,
please.
It's good. It's a great game. It's just, bruh.
Are you stuck in the water?
Yes, that's why.
Oh, okay. I got you afterwards.
He's like, I'm gonna help you out. I'll get you to it.
Dikembe is like, I know the way.
It's some real BS too. But you a real one though, because I had to look it up. So but I can see why you would quit that, because
But
replay wise though, I think it just gotta be a dope game. But I think difficulty makes me not want to replay it if I can't choose it, because if it's too easy, I want to put it on a little bit harder, so you know, I'm enjoying the game over again, and it's not too easy. And if it's too hard, I want to be able to get through it. And that was my issue with the Warriors. I think Warriors is one of the most fantastic games Rockstar made.
Yeah,
it is.
And
it's
annoying to me. Yes, I wish more people would play it, but I kind of got used to like the combos and everything. So it's like The only thing that's hard is what's designed to be hard, like bosses and stuff like that. But I can usually beat up anybody like in a few seconds, even though it's like it's heated and it's a lot of stuff going on and it's riots. And that actually started to get to me, even though I love the game a lot. I was like, man, I just wish this wasn't like a cinematic difficulty. Like I wish I could actually go through it and change it right now, and I couldn't. So like that kind of took me out of that game, even though I totally recommend it to anybody.
Oh yeah, that's a great game.
That is a good one.
That's a game that needs a remaster for real. Like
Yeah,
Rockstar,
it does.
I think Rockstar had some of his best work, like story wise, with that game, because even though it was based off the film, they had like their own little story they added to it within the game, which was great. That's a good recommendation to Dikembe for real.
Yeah, bro.
No, that's a good one, bro.
Yeah.
I had to watch the movie after it put me onto game. I had to see the movie after that.
Oh no, that movie is amazing. That's me and my brother's favorite movie to watch together.
Oh, that's what's up. I just watched it the other day with my uncle. So yeah, that's a good one.
The square round table is pretty all right. Best. That man crazy, bro.
Right,
Said
bro.
the best.
The best.
It's like 80 black dudes, bro.
Right, bro. Man. But me and Joshua actually we had that game on PSP.
PSP, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, it was on PSP, PS2. Yep.
Yeah, man. So that was definitely a good one. And
PlayStation 5 game.
For sure. I am too.
No, seriously. And that's another point. It's like it's definitely refreshing having like that black protagonist, you know what I'm saying? Like it's because I think it's something that gets looked over a lot in video games. Like you don't really pay attention to it, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Like having that's why I definitely can't wait for that Miles Morales game to come out. And I hope that it's not just because I heard something that it might just be an expansion. I hope it's an actual full game.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah. I hope it's an actual full game instead of just a little expansion.
My boy deserves a full game, man. Don't cheat.
No, that's a full game. They showed the case.
Oh, okay. I thought they came out and said it was like an expansion to the game or whatever. Like they were gonna have a actual second game for Peter, and then they were gonna have like an expansion. But that's good to know it's an actual game.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's good to know. And and my last pick would be Mega Man Legends. I don't know if y'all remember that game.
I do remember that game.
It's kind of like
sounds familiar.
I like it because it's really they took like the Mega Man style or the Mega Man universe and kind of made it like anime-esque. Like
I'm looking at it now. I hadn't played it, but yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
It's because we were talking about tough games and like going off of what Dikembe said. Yeah, all Mega Man games are hard, and that game surely was the hardest. But like the graphics, it was really ahead of its time, man. Like the graphics and the worlds that game like built, and just like the overall aesthetic, like it was just a really pretty game. So if it's on PlayStation 1. So I mean, if anybody got a PlayStation 1 out there and y'all, it can't be but $2. So my thing is like, go out there, get Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. It's like ridiculously fun. So definitely, play it. It's awesome. You won't regret.
I got it. Sorry. I figured out the game that you were talking about, Dikembe, with the animal. I got it. Horizon Zero Dawn or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It was bugging me the whole podcast. I really found it.
He scratched the itch, man.
That's with the girl with the red hair.
Yeah, and they had the dinosaurs and the robotic rhinos and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
That's a shame because that game looks so good.
I saw my friend played it and he said it was good, but I guess I just didn't know.
Yeah, because they treated that game kind of like they're doing Miles Morales for the PS5. It was like that PS4 game, like one of the first I think PS4 games like that. I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, man. No, but definitely, guys, like I said, go out there and get that Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, and definitely play that that Mafia 3. Like it's amazing. But yeah, guys, you know, we had a really good time tonight, man, talking about all our favorite video games. And, you know, I think the biggest point of it all is just, you know, they're fun to play, man. You know, it gets a lot of stress off. You know, I don't really think too much about the ramifications of, you know, games. A lot of people say they lead to violence and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, yeah, it's crap. You know, I like to think I just look at it as fun, and I like to think everybody that plays video games knows how to distinguish, you know, fact from fiction. And, you know, it's just really a way for you to relax and, you know, get out of your daily mundane, whatever you're going through in life. You know, it's just fun to hop into a fictional world and, you know what I'm saying, enjoy yourself, like Dmitri said. Like, waste hours, you know what I'm saying, on something fun. Like that's how I like to look at it, man. And yeah, guys, once again, you know, we have been the Square Roundtable. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And Dikembe, man, thank you so much for coming out, bro. We really appreciate you.
Yes, man. Appreciate you.
Man. Yeah, of course, man. You're welcome to come back, honestly, anytime, man. And do you have anything coming up, man? Any projects you wanted to talk about, or, you know, and definitely put your social media out there for, you know, all our viewers and listeners and all that good stuff.
Oh, okay. Most definitely. I'm on YouTube as ThisIsDK. All one word. And DK, the most dedicated, on Instagram. Try to keep my social simple. Not too much.
No, that's great, man. Because some people be having like all kind of crazy mess. Like, this is young toilet seat at, you know.
Yo, that's gonna take off too. We're gonna see that pretty soon.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, but yeah, guys. So I'm your host, Chad Singleton. Go ahead and introduce yourselves once again, guys, including you, Dikembe. Introduce yourself.
I'm D.
I'm Josh Singleton.
I'm Mark.
I'm Dikembe. It lagged. My bad.
Yeah, it kind of froze a little bit. I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, I was like, chilling. I was like,
I'm awkward.
I thought it was on my end. I thought I was the one tripping out. I was like, oh no.
I did. I was like, uh-oh.
No, y'all are good. But yeah, man, make sure y'all catch us every Friday at power214.com. Yeah, catch our podcast. It premieres every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern, well, 12 p.m. Central time, and 1 p.m. Eastern time. And go ahead, Demetrius. Did you want to tell them about YouTube?
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube page, The Square Roundtable. And hit the notification bell underneath the video so that you're, get our notification when we post a new video.
I'm up now, I'm up now, I'm up now, I'm up now. Blink twice, rub eyes, check time, high five.